Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys another week of the P4G Tier 3 and below league. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Camden Ursarings and Coast. Chance should be a good matchup here. Chance is having a tough start to the season. He is 0-5. We were sitting at, I believe, 4-1, so we've got a nice start going here. And we've got a tough matchup, though. He's got some pretty good Pokemon that are good against my team, like Raichu and Venusaur, stuff like that. So it'll be definitely an interesting match. No team builder this week, man. I'm still trying to catch up from that crazy power outage. And of course, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Pokemon Quest were just announced. So I've been spending a ton of time with Pokemon Quest. And the WBE, my league, is just beginning as well. If you missed the draft stream, that should have been yesterday. It's actually tomorrow, but it's yesterday as far as, you know, when you see this video. So if you haven't seen the draft stream, I should have it up on my channel. And I also should have a draft breakdown where I talk about my team and what I drafted and everything like that. I think you guys are going to really dig it. Really, really cool team there. Now, I do have another question. That's kind of the question today is, have you seen the WBE draft? But I kind of have another question today is, what do you guys think of the team builder videos? Do you watch them? Do you want me to do them? I've kind of skipped out on them the last couple weeks, and part of the reason is just busyness, and the other part of the reason is, like, I don't even know how much people really want to watch them in the first place. So let me know if you really feel like the team builders are a crucial part. It's not that much extra effort for me. It's only like, you know, 15-20 minutes, but it's just sometimes like I'm kind of rushing to kind of do other things. But I'm going to talk about my team really quickly here. I'm rocking with Dragalge. Well, actually, let me talk about his team. He's got Arcanine, Quagsire, Porygon Z, Cryogonal, Honchkrow, Venusaur, Alolan Raichu, Sliggoo, Zigzagoon, Mismagius, and Clang. That's his squad right there. So considering all those Pokemon, I think he's going to bring Quagsire for sure, because he's probably going to expect the rain. Raichu, because I think he can run like Electrium Z with Electric Terrain or something like that. Venusaur, because I think he can run Z Sunny Day or Sunny Day in general to change my weather. Porygon Z with Agility or Scarf is pretty solid. Mismagius is just a good Pokemon in general, and I think Cryogonal could be kind of cool, especially if he tries to like run Freeze Dry or something for Ludicolo, and it's really good against my water types and so on and so forth. It's very specially bulky. I could also see Clang coming. Sliggoo actually might be a really good bring as well, and potentially Arcanine. So with that said, he has nothing on his team that wants to take on a Dragalge defensively. Draco Meteor absolutely rips through his squad. Toxic Spikes, because I don't really need Sludge Wave. Dragon Pulse is there, and Focus Blast hits a couple other things, but generally Draco Meteor just destroys his team. Choice Specs adaptability. I've got Tornadus here. Hopefully he thinks it's supposed to be Z Crystal and I forgot my item, but really I'm Acrobatics this week with no item. Acrobatics, Knockoff, Superpower, and U-Turn. Full physically offensive. The reason for that is because I feel like he's got a lot more specially defensive Pokemon, like his Cryogonal, like his Mismagius, that I can kind of take advantage of that and go offensive. Plus one of his better, like, he's got a Raichu, which he could run, I guess, Assault Vest to try to stop Hurricanes. You know, I could obviously go for the knockoff against that, which is super effective because it is a psychic type Pokemon. We've got our Escavalier here, which is kind of meant for the Venusaur and also for the Porygon. Assault Vest, just really bulky, very specially bulky. Mega Horn, Drill Run for Arcanine, knockoff just for the team. And Iron Head really helps against Cryogonal, can kind of help against Mismagius, which could be running Mystical Fire. But, you know, I obviously got to watch out for those Fire-type moves, but nevertheless. We've got Claydol making its debut, the Landmine here, running a little bit of speed on it for Arcanine in case he runs defensive Arcanine, but this thing is just a defensive pivot with Stealth Rocks, Rapid Spin, Earth Power, Toxic. Stealth Rock, very important in this match. Toxic, very nice to kind of just whittle down his team. Earth Power, obviously, for Raichu. This thing's primary job is to handle the Raichu relatively well. It can take a couple other hits, and while it is weak to a lot of things, it also can take some hits too, so kind of the gist there. We've got Voltergeist, who's been somewhat of an MVP this season. Very, very solid Pokemon. Hidden Power Grass, Toxic, Volt Switch, and Overheat. Hidden Power Grass, obviously, for Quagsire. Should be able to two-shot that thing. Otherwise, we're just there as a defensive pivot for some of his other, you know, kind of bulkier or more offensive threats, rather. And then last but not least, we got Cupcake, which is a defensive Cupcake with the Unburden ability. Unburden is going to double our speed after that Citrus Berry is consumed. Sticky Web is just for the rest of the team if I feel like it makes sense. But otherwise, we're setting up Calm Minds, Dazzling Gleam, and using Psychic to knock out his team. I've got an EV spread so I can live a Life Orb, Sludge Bomb from a max special attack Venusaur if I'm +1 special defense, and obviously we can do a lot of damage back with Psychic. So that's our team rundown, pretty simple. I decided not to bring Rain for two reasons. One, I felt like I brought Rain every game this season, and I don't want my opponents to just say, hey, you know, I'm facing aDrive, he's got to bring Rain. I want people to realize that this team can do more than just bring Rain. So I decided to leave the Rain out this week. And two, I felt like with Quagsire and Venusaur, I felt like he was going to really try to switch the weather around on me. So rather than try to fight the weather war with Politoed, I just wanted to mix something up and try out some of the other Pokemon and some of the other sets that we could run. So I'm going to get connected with Chance here. Hit that like button down below, subscribe if you're new. Let's make this battle happen. Alright guys, we're connected here. Super weird to not have an item on my Tornadus. That's not something I'm used to doing, but that's all part of the plan, acrobatics this week. So really, Tornadus looks incredibly good against this team as long as he doesn't bring any surprise choice scarvers. So I think this match is going to come down to trying to use Dragalge to break through his defensive Pokemon and then use the right pivots that I have to try to get an understanding of, you know, what he's got. If he's got choice scarvers and stuff like that. I've got knockoff on a few different Pokemon, which can help out there as well. And ultimately, I think Slurpuff can win this game for us at the end with Calm Minds if I weaken his team a little bit. So that's kind of where Dragalge comes in. In terms of a lead, I'm not really positive what I'm going to lead with. I think Claydol's a really good lead to set up Stealth Rocks. I think Tornadus could be a really good lead as well. Again, I don't want to let Tornadus go down to like a random, you know, Choice Scarf Pokemon. So I'm thinking, you know, Rotom or Claydol could be really good because both of them can provide some pivoting options and should be bulky enough to live really any hit from his team. So we'll see what he's going to lead with. We'll see what he brings. Like I said, there's a couple things that I think he could bring that I don't have on the screen right now. Sliggoo being one of them. Sliggoo might be pretty difficult to take down, and it could have Rest, expecting to, you know, kind of use hydration with the rain. I could also see Arcanine coming, even though it's a rain team. Like, he may go with Arcanine, but if he thinks I'm bringing rain, Arcanine is useless against, like, you know, half my team. If I brought rain, if, you know, because, like, if I were to bring a rain variant, it would be Ludicolo, Politoed, Tornadus. So that's why I feel like he definitely brings Venusaur. I definitely see Quagsire coming, just because that thing can carry Water Absorb. So we'll see ultimately what he's got here in just a second. Let's see here. So he is going to bring Sliggoo. Does not bring Quagsire. Very surprising to see that. Does bring Arcanine as well. So I stand corrected. Maybe he didn't expect the rain. I don't know, man. But he does bring Honchkrow. Very surprising to see Honchkrow. So we're going to have to make sure we keep our a couple Pokemon, you know, healthy for that, and Sliggoo. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, nothing too crazy. Like, you know, I kind of figured a lot of these Pokemon were possible brings. A little surprising to see a couple things though. So no Mismagius is kind of weird to me. Honchkrow, I really felt like he had Quagsire was really solid, but maybe he just really felt that I was gonna be able to handle it. So Arcanine, Raichu, Venusaur, Honchkrow, and Sliggoo. With Porygon Z. Okay, so in terms of leads here, getting up Rocks is really nice. His best way to get rid of Rocks is he's got a Defoggy Honchkrow. So I want to get my Rocks up right away. I think that that's really solid. So I'm just going to lead with Landmine here. And really, I should be able to handle anything. Like, I mean, should be able to take a hit from the Honchkrow. I have, what, 30 seconds? Let me take a look here if Honchkrow can just straight up knock me out with a hit. A Dark-type move. Sucker Punch could, if he's like physically offensive. Otherwise, I should be able to live a hit. So let's give it a shot. If he leads Honchkrow, then I can switch out. You know, I can go into my my Slurpuff or something. And honestly, like, I'm pretty fast too, so I might even be able to potentially live a hit from that thing. So it doesn't get, you know, knockoff or anything. So its best physical move is Sucker Punch. If it goes for a special type move, it's not nearly as strong. So Claydol should be able to live up a hit and get up Stealth Rocks. And I just feel like Stealth Rocks are so good in this match, weakening the Arcanine and the Honchkrow on entry, doing 25% damage to them. So he's going to lead with Phlegm, which is going to be his Sliggoo. Okay, not surprising to see that. That's totally fine. I do have the opportunity to go for a Toxic here. I will likely get Toxic back no matter what I do. But to me, I think the valuable play here is just to get up my Rocks. I think getting up Rocks is just way too important in this match. Like I said, I'm likely to take a Toxic here, but getting up my Rocks here are super duper crucial, with his only remover being that Honchkrow, and whittling down things like Arcanine, things like Honchkrow, things like, you know, the Raichu coming in, just really good. So I'm gonna get my Stealth Rocks up. He likely just goes for Toxic here or carries Muddy Water or something like that. You know, but I think we're gonna see a Hidden Power, so maybe Hidden Power Grass. I'm not really sure what Hidden Power that is, but that's honestly best case scenario for me because I thought I was getting Toxic there. So I'm going to Toxic myself. If he goes into Venusaur, that's fine. I have a great Venusaur switch in Dragalge. Even a Venusaur carrying Earthquake isn't really that effective. So I also have, you know, Rotom, which is pretty solid against it. So I have quite a few switch-ins. And once I start firing off Draco Meteors, his switch-ins are going to be very, very limited. In fact, if I play Dragalge proper this game, it should be able to get a few kills just because he has nothing to switch into it. You know, nothing, he has no resist to Draco Meteor. And even Dragon Pulse looks really good against him too. So if I don't want to deal with the drop and I want to kind of do that. But I think early game you Draco Meteor, mid game you Dragon Pulse, I think is kind of the way. Because like I don't think Venusaur switches in to a you know, Dragon Pulse. Like a standard, like let's say a standard defensive Venusaur, yeah, a Draco Meteor after rocks does kill a specially defensive Venusaur. Like, he has 0 ways to switch into that. So Toxic here looks super good, pretty straightforward play. I'm not too concerned about this thing. Like I said, the worst it does to me is Toxic me, and really Claydol has already done its job by getting up Stealth Rocks. Like, that was its main purpose in this game, in my perspective, was just to kind of get those rocks up, and also, you know, kind of keeping it relatively healthy for Raichu isn't a bad option, just in case, so it can't Volt Switch around on me and things like that. But we'll see what he ends up doing here. I feel like if he's gonna make a switch, it's the Honchkrow or the Venusaur. I don't think he switches into anything else. And again, if it's the Venusaur, I just go right into my Dragalge. I'm gonna land a Toxic in the Sliggoo, which is pretty clutch. If he does have Rest, that's fine, but we'll see what he does here. Maybe a Dragon Tail or a Toxic himself, like I said. So here comes the Sludge Bomb. Okay, so he's got some offensive moves here. He does land a Poison on me, a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. I Toxic'd him, so I'm thinking that I just go Dragalge right now, because even a Dragon Pulse from a Sliggoo shouldn't do too much to me, because it's a Sliggoo. Let me just see, how much does a Dragon Pulse do? I mean, about 40%. I don't know if I want to take that damage. Let me think about this. Do I want to take that damage? He went for Hidden Power earlier. I mean, I can also go into Voltergeist here and just Volt Switch around. Try to get some momentum. Or I go into Tornadus to allow myself to knock off. I just don't want to get caught with a Rest here. I think I'm going to go Dragalge, because I think that he's not going to go for a ground type move. He could go for a dragon type move here. That's a little risky though. I could double Toxic as well. It's another play. I do want to switch here. I just don't know if it's worth going into Dragalge, because I feel like Dragalge just, like I said, it nukes something like every time. I can also go Excalibur, which isn't... Yeah, you know what? Let's go Excalibur. I don't think he's Hidden Power Fire, because I'm pretty sure his Hidden Power is super effective against me, so I think he's HP Grass. Or HP Ice. So let's go Excalibur here, which is a good switch in for the Venusaur as well. I'll be able to get a knockoff off on something. And again, his best switch into that thing is the Arcanine, and again, removing its item is really, really solid. So we'll think a few turns ahead, but being able to weaken this thing down, we poisoned it. We know it's got EVLate, we can assume that. We've seen Hidden Power, most likely Grass. I don't know why we would run Hidden Power Grass though. But I don't know, maybe it wasn't Hidden Power, maybe... I don't know what it was. I don't think he has HP Fire, so he goes for the Draco Meteor, so I'm glad I didn't go into my Dragalge. So we see Draco Meteor, which is going to do absolutely nothing to me. And I get a free knockoff here. I actually get a really good knockoff here into that Arcanine slot, which I'm loving right now. I love this option here. So I'm going to go for the knockoff, because I can take any hit from this thing. It's -2. I could also make a switch into Dragalge here if I wanted to, but I'm going to go for the knockoff here. Play it safe. I do think this Sliggoo's forced out now. So Draco Meteor was his play. Okay. He's Toxic, and he's sitting at about, let's say, 85%. All right. So knockoff is really good against this team. You know, even Intimidate Arcanine coming in, not a big deal. I'm going to be able to, you know, get rid of leftovers or whatever it may have, a band, whatever it might be. So, you know, he's not, I mean, he could go Venusaur. I don't think that's the play. He could go Honchkrow. Maybe Honchkrow is his play, because Honchkrow probably has Heat Wave. But if he's thinking I could Mega Horn him, Honchkrow's not going to take that either. So kind of tricky. But again, just kind of whittling the team down, giving Slurpuff an opportunity, you know, later on in the game is going to be really nice. So he's definitely thinking about his move here, that Draco Meteor. I'm glad I did not go into my Dragalge though. You know, I thought there was a chance he was going to go for the Dragon move. Maybe he just kept predicting Claydol to switch out, and he was trying to make the right prediction. Maybe he thought Slurpuff was coming in. Maybe that's why he went for Sludge Bomb on that turn, the second turn, thinking Slurpuff was going to come in, which would have been a legitimate threat to him. Kind of looking at his team now that I think about it a little bit more, maybe going for the Sticky Web with Slurpuff is a better play than worrying about trying to set up with Slurpuff. He's going to go for Protect. That's fine. I'm going to go for the knockoff here. I'm going to continue to knock off either way. I've seen his full set. He does not have Rest, which is good to know. And he's going to take more toxic damage and go down to about, you know, whatever that is. You know, 65%. I still think knockoff is my best play, to be honest. So I'm going to do that. But again, Slurpuff getting up sticky webs is a really good option. I could also Ironhead, predicting the potential Honchkrow coming in, but Honchkrow comes in and it goes for Heat Wave, so I don't really care about that. Like, I can switch out and handle it. I have Claydol as a pivot still. But yeah, I think maybe going for sticky webs with Slurpuff instead of trying to set up with Slurpuff is the better play, because it's going to mitigate a potential Scarf Raichu and a potential Scarf Porygon, as well as and guarantee that Tornadus is the fastest thing in the field. So that might be the best play, actually, because Tornadus actually can kind of just win this game if I can get a little bit of damage off on a couple things and make sure it outspeeds things like Porygon. It's going to do a lot of damage to that thing. I probably have to get Porygon down to about 70% though, I would guess, for the acrobatics. Yeah, 71 to 85. So I got to get 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins or a Toxic Spike. So, but the Toxic Spike's a little trickier because of the Venusaur. So, but either way, that's where U-turn comes in. You know, and people always ask me about battling and how to get better at battling, and I think one of the best things you can do is kind of try to look ahead many turns. I'm already thinking of how much damage I need to get on certain Pokemon to be able to win this game. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know, surprise sets and good plays and good predictions and stuff like that. But so far in this game, I've just played very, very safe against this Sliggoo because I don't have any other reason to. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what his team is to kind of make the best evaluation. He's going to go for a Draco again, so I think he's just kind of admitting defeat here with this Slurpuff. If he does not knock, or if I don't knock him out here, I'm probably going to switch out to Slurpuff so I can get at my Sticky Web. So I'm going to go for the knockoff here, get rid of this thing's Eviolite. Hopefully he lives the Toxic. That's actually best case scenario. And he does, which is perfect. So I'm going to go right into my Slurpuff here, and I'm going to try to get an opportunity. He's not going to switch this thing out. So I want to get an opportunity to get at my Sticky Web. Although now that I think about it, it wasn't that great of a decision because he's going to die to Toxic on the switch anyway, so that's going to just bring the Venusaur back out, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. I probably should have just stayed in and went for a knockoff. But Sliggoo's going to go down to this poison from Claydol anyway, and it looks like Claydol's going to get his first kill, so we will take that. But that does force the Venusaur out, and unless he's carrying Earthquake on his Venusaur, my Dragalge comes in, no problemo. So I'm thinking that that's what I'm going to do anyway. And then once Dragalge's in clicking, you know, Draco Meteors and stuff like that, I mean, he's in a lot of trouble. I don't even think Venusaur is going to be able to do a ton to me with Earthquake in the first place. Yeah, I mean, it's going to do like half. So he's going to go for Hidden Power here. I don't know what the Hidden Power is. Again, I think it's HP Grass, but Claydol kills Sliggoo with Toxic. So Sliggoo's down. We get rid of that very bulky Pokemon. I think he primarily brought the Sliggoo for the rain. You know, it was kind of one of his ways to deal with the rain. But the fact that I didn't bring rain, he didn't feel like it was as necessary, and he didn't want to like switch in to my Escavalier going for knockoffs or anything like that. So that's all right. We got rid of that thing. He's seen, you know, this is my third Pokemon. I feel like he has to go Venusaur here. You know, I feel like he's got to go Venusaur here. And then he either HP Fires or Sludge Bombs. So he's gotta be concerned of me going for a Belly Drum, which is the beauty of my little Slurpuff friend here. If he goes into like Arcanine, I'm just gonna Sticky Web. If he goes into Raichu, I'll just Sticky Web. If he goes into Venusaur though, we gotta go Dragalge or Claydol. Either one works. He's gotta have Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain on that thing. He may not even have room for Earthquake to begin with, which is nice. So if he doesn't have Earthquake on his Venusaur, my Dragalge is going to just absolutely obliterate his team. It is going to put in a lot of work. Dragalge's a beast, dude. I'm pretty sure it leads the team in kills at this point in the season. A lot of those being Toxic Spikes kills, but still very, very strong. Very, very strong. So, I mean, I could have let my Escavalier stay in there instead of going into Slurpuff earlier. But again, that brings out probably the Honchkrow with... Yeah, I think that brings out the Honchkrow, which is harder for me to switch into. I have less switch-ins to Honchkrow than I do the Venusaur. So he actually goes Raichu, which I'm a little surprised to see. I'm pretty sure I can live any hit from this thing. So I'm thinking that I'm going to just go, unless he's like Z Gigabolt Havoc. He could also Nasty Plot, but I should be able to live any hit from him. Even a Z Thunderbolt I can live. So I'm gonna just go for my sticky web here. I don't really need Slurpuff. He goes for fake out, so that's fine. He shows fake out. Doesn't really do much. We see fake out. So that's probably to stall rain turns, so not a bad option. I'm gonna go for sticky web again. And he's just gonna volt switch out. That's fine. He actually just barely doesn't activate my citrus, which kind of stinks. But I'm gonna get my webs up, dude. So this is a win-win for me. And honestly, I can probably let Slurpuff go down if Venusaur comes in. Because I can just go right into Tornadus and click Acrobatics. Because he's not going to be Scarf Venusaur. And he has 0 switch-ins to Tornadus at that point. Aside from a defensive Arcanine, I mean, would be his best play. You know, Intimidate defensive Arcanine, but it's taking 25% from rocks. And then I can simply U-turn out. So here comes Joel, which is the Venusaur. Okay, I get my webs up, which is very nice. And I have a couple different options here. I can go into my Escavalier, I can go into my Dragalge, I can also go into my Claydol. Claydol being the least useful member of the team at this point, I believe. Doesn't really do much to Venusaur, but it guarantees that I get a free switch in with Dragalge. I do not want to allow this Venusaur to set up, so I think my best play here is actually just to go for a Psychic. If he knocks me out, that's fine. I'm going to just try to keep him from setting up on me. Just because I feel like he could have Sunny Day. And I want to try to do as much damage to him as I can. Because if he does have Sunny Day, he's going to be able to double his speed stat, which would in turn allow him to... You know, if like he sets up Sunny Day, I mean, I don't really feel like I need my Slurpuff anymore. It does resist the Honchkrow, but realistically, like, that's about it. So I got my webs up. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go for Psychic here and try to get, you know, 50% off on him. I think that's a pretty fair play. And there's a chance I outspeed him. I do have some speed. I don't have a ton. So if he... It depends on what kind of speed he's running on his. But Psychic's going to do 38 to, you know, 45 or so, unless he's, like, very bulky. So... And if he doesn't Sunny Day, that's fine as well. I mean, like I said, I just go Tornadus at this point. He's gonna switch out, so I get a Psychic off unless he goes into Bubbers, which is the Porygon. So maybe he predicted something, but I get Sticky Web off here, and I get a Psychic off, which is sweet. So nice little Psychic here. Doesn't really do anything. Okay, that makes me wonder here, because I do not want to have this thing set up on me. Porygon Z, because this is the thing that can definitely set up all over my face. Psychic should have probably done more than that. I feel like he's bulky. I feel like he is bulky. I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, because he needs coverage. I just don't want him to be like Agility and Nasty Plot. He's Tri-Attack. Okay, this might activate my Citrus Berry. It doesn't. He gets a crit. I think the crit matters, because I actually feel like I would have lived that. Unless he's Life Orb. Oh, he is Life Orb. Okay. So PZ kills Slurpuff with Tri-Attack. So he's Life Orb. We know that now. Good to know. And now I just get to go into my homie F5. And we can just start clicking Acrobatics. Or I can click Knockoff. Either one. Really doesn't matter here. I think either one will knock him out. A Knockoff if he's got a Life Orb. I do feel like he had some bulk to him, though. So I'm a little weary. I do think the Acrobatics is the safer of the plays in case he is like very, very bulky, which I feel like he had some bulk. So I'm just going to Acrobatics because it is a guaranteed kill. He can switch into Raichu or Arcanine, but again, both of them are taking Stealth Rocks damage, and I can simply U-turn out and gain more momentum. Against the Arcanine, I can bring in Dragalge because I do resist his Fire-type moves, and then I can start firing up Dragon Pulses. I don't even need to Draco Meteor anymore at this point in the game. Simply just clicking Dragon Pulse is enough because the rest of his Pokemon are pretty frail. And we're in a pretty commanding position already. Sticky Webs and Stealth Rocks up. Obviously losing Slurpuff stinks, but it did its job. Its primary job was one of two things, either to try to set up and sweep late game or early game set up Sticky Webs, and it did the first part there, the Sticky Webs. So cool with me, man. So let's see what this Porygon Z is going to do. I feel like he just lets it go down. With Sticky Webs up, I just don't see the validity that in Porygon Z at this point. Also, a little surprised to see Life Orb on it. I feel like it does better with other items. I'm a big fan. Like, I've always wanted the Draft Porygon Z. I feel like it's such a good Pokemon that always gets overlooked, man. But it has the ability to set up 2 different ways. It can set up its special attack, and it can set up physical speed. And it has a great coverage. So Acrobatics comes in, kills the PZ, so that's not bad. And again, at this point in the match, I can simply U-turn out on anything that comes in. I'm faster than everything, except for Scarf Honchkrow. That would be the only thing. And I guess Scarf Moxie Honchkrow is something I should be weary of. But, yeah, that actually is something I should be weary of, a Moxie Honchkrow. But I would imagine against a Honchkrow, I mean, Honchkrow is actually pretty scary. I can live a Sucker Punch for a max attack Adamant Honchkrow right now, and I would knock it out with a Acrobatics. So, or I could simply U-turn. But I think if Honchkrow comes in, I just got to Acrobatics. But if it's Scarf, that's scary. Because if it gets Moxie Boost, well, I guess the good news, if it were to get a Moxie Boost, I can go into Rotom and then I can Volt Switch. So I'll always have Rotom to try to check it. I gotta make sure I keep Rotom healthy as long as Honchkrow's around. Because if he were to go Scarf Honchkrow and start Brave Birding, I would be in a lot of trouble. Actually, it destroys my entire team, except for Rotom. So that's the one thing I'm the most concerned about was the Honchkrow, because that, like, Honchkrow, I feel like I look at Honchkrow and I'm like, this thing, like, I would never personally draft that. You know, talk about PZ and how I would totally draft PZ. I don't feel like I would ever draft Honchkrow. I've never really liked it that much. But in a league like this, I mean, 125 attack with Moxie, which is a pretty good ability, and the fact that it's got some really good, you know, offensive options, pretty scary. He goes Raichu. Very surprised to see that, because I just feel like I can click knockoff here and just knock this thing out. And I can. I mean, unless he's got HP investment, I do knock him out with a knockoff. He does have Fake Out, though. We got to remember he has Fake Out. So he's probably going to Fake Out, but then I could just U-turn. So I think I'm just going to U-turn and take the Fake Out, because I don't really care if he fakes out. Yeah, he does it. That's fine. But I get to U-turn here, so we'll knock him out with a U-turn. And it gives me momentum if he tries to go into something else. Yeah, U-turn should just knock this thing out. And it does. So, Tornadus. He's Rocky Helmet Raichu. What was that for? Raichu with U-turn. What was the Rocky Helmet for? Escavalier? What was it for? Maybe Tornadus. I don't know. Okay, okay, so he's got Arcanine, Venusaur, Honchkrow. Can Honchkrow kill Dragalge in one hit with a Brave Bird? He has to be Adamant, Max Attack, Life Orb, so I'm going Dragalge, I think. Or I go Rotom. Rotom's pretty solid, too, because I can Volt Switch out of whatever comes in. And it discourages the Honchkrow. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rotom. Because I'm gonna be faster than the other Pokemon anyway. I'm gonna be faster than Venusaur and Arcanine, so I can Volt Switch out. And if he goes Honchkrow here, I know I can live a hit, and I can Volt Switch out on that thing too and knock it out and remove the Honchkrow threat. So this forces, like, Arcanine and Venusaur, I can simply Volt Switch because I'm a Sticky Webs. So Rotom's definitely the best option here. I could have went Dragalge, but then if he had the Honchkrow and it is Max Attack Life Orb, and he knocked me out with a Brave Bird, he would be in a situation where he gets a Moxie Boost, and then I have to keep sacking Pokemon off to it. So I would lose my Dragalge, then I would lose my Claydol. He probably would die at that point to Recoil. Yeah, because if he's not Scarfed in that situation, he's, you know, he's Life Orb or whatever. So we're in a pretty commanding position, though. I'm not really worried about Venusaur, because even though Venusaur can Chlorophyll and Growth, it's not going to beat Dragalge, because then it means it has Sludge Wave, Giga Drain. And then Arcanine, I'm not concerned about at all at this point in the match, because Tornadus outspeeds it. It's going to take 25% from rocks. Dragalge can resist its stab and close combat and wild charge. You know, so we're in a really good spot there. So I'm pretty free to just volt switch on whatever comes in, and then I can sack off Claydol or Escavalier and see if he's got HP Fire or whatever. And I feel like that's the other thing too. The Honchkro's got to be carrying Heat Wave, man. I just feel like it's got to be carrying Heat Wave, so I don't think he's fully physical anyway. And I don't see why like Scarf Honchkro doesn't really make a lot of sense either, considering the rain. He goes into which is what, the Arcanine? Okay, so is it Intimidate? Big Stealth Rocks damage. Sticky Web comes in. Does he have Intimidate? He does have Intimidate. Okay. So I'm pretty free to Volt Switch here. So that's what we're gonna do. I mean, all he could do to me is Close Combat or Toxic, so I mean, I could pretty much just Volt Switch into Dragalge pretty safely. I don't really see why I don't do that. And I should be able to get some intel in terms of how bulky he is by this Volt Switch damage too. The fact that he's Intimidate, I feel like he's probably pretty bulky, but Volt Switch should do about 25 to 31%, so it should bring him down to the yellow if he's max HP. If he's not max HP, he'll do 30 to 36. So, but unless he's Choice Banded, he's not doing anything to me. Okay, so that's bulky. That's a bulky Arcanine. We can tell 100% bulky Arcanine. Going 1,000,000% into my Dragalge now. Dragalge comes in and clicks Dragon Pulse. Or Draco, whichever I prefer. He goes for Morning Sun, so he is bulky as expected. And I have to make a decision here because he's sitting at full health. Do I want to start Dragon Pulsing or do I want to start Draco Meteoring? Dragon Pulse, he can't Morning Sun out of Dragon Pulses. Like, he can't just Morning Sun his way out of Dragon Pulses. Draco Meteor just straight up kills. So it's kind of like, which one do I want? But I don't know if I want to give the Honchkrow free switch in. So I'm going to Dragon Pulse. But he can't Morning Sun his way out of Dragon Pulses. Because I'm going to be doing 75. He's going to be getting 50 back. Eventually, I will knock him out. So. And this is where Dragalge is so good, man. And I feel like even outside of tier 3 and below, Dragalge has some really good matchups because of its adaptability. It's got great coverage. Sludge Wave and Dragon Pulse and Draco Meteor are really good. Toxic Spike utility is good. Obviously, it's a little frail on the physical side, but it's got great special bulk. It hits very, very hard. I mean, a max HP Arcanine, which is a pretty naturally bulky Pokemon, is taking 120 to 140 from Draco Meteor. A max HP Arcanine. That's wild. That's wild. So, yeah, I mean, the most he can do to me right now is Flare Blitz me for like 30%. In which case, you know, like I said, a couple Dragon Pulses will seal the deal. And Venusaur doesn't want to come in on it either. Honchkrow instantly dies. So we're in a very commanding position here with Dragalge. And like I said earlier in the match, Draco early game, Dragon Pulse middle game. We're in a situation where Dragon Pulse is clutch. He's going to E-Speed here because it's the only thing that's not resisted. It does absolutely nothing. Dragon Pulse is going to do about 75% to him. And it does. It does activate a Berry. Is that a 50%er? Yo, he had his Calx ready, man. He's got that Aguav. That's alright, though. He's got no item now, so. The thought crossed my mind that he was going to have that Berry. We did exactly like enough to trigger that Berry, too. That's funny. I feel like we did exactly enough to trigger that Berry. So he's got a little bit of special bulk, I think, as well. But Extreme Speed did so little to me. And I think if he doesn't Morning Sun here, we should knock him out, I think. Or pretty close. We'll be really close to knocking him out. We may have to take 2 Extreme Speeds, though, to do it. And again, the key is, like, I just got to make sure Rotom has some health in him for the Honchkrow. But my Rotom's mixed bulk, so that's pretty solid, too. See what he's gonna do here. I feel like he's gotta just go on the offensive. He can't switch out. I don't see what he's gonna switch into. Oh, did he message me? Oh, that was earlier. Okay. I will say, he does take his time with his moves. He definitely is thinking out his moves here. Which is fine. I mean, you got the whole timer. Use it. You know? He's definitely thinking about his options. I've been trying to take a more laid-back approach lately to battles. You know? Just click the buttons. Not stress too much about it. Alright, this maybe knock him out, or it brings him down to like 1. It knocks him out. Sweet. Sweet. Dragalgy kills Arcanine with D-Pulse. So had I just Draco'd, I would have knocked him out, and I would have been sitting at 75. Here comes Buck Nasty, which is the Honchkrow. This thing finally comes in. Takes Stealth Rock's damage. I don't know if he's going to knock me out. I don't have any reason to save anything at this point. I don't think I need to save this thing. So I'm just going to Dragon Pulse. He probably just knocks me out with Brave Bird. Or, you know, whatever he's going to go for, Sucker Punch. If he's Life Orb boosted, he's going to knock me out anyway. But again, like, I don't want him to Nasty Claw or anything like that. Like, I just got to keep, like, if he gets Moxie Boost, it's fine. Rotom can take 1 hit, so. Rotom's very bulky. Yeah, Rotom can indeed live a max attack, Sucker Punch at +1, and a superpower. So, and does kill with Volt Switch. So as long as Rotom's healthy, this thing can't beat me. And if he knocks me out here, that's fine. Like I said, I've got plenty of options. Rotom being the best one. Because I just Volt Switch out, then he goes for Sucker Punch. This probably knocks me out. It does. Is he Moxie Boost? He is. Okay. Okay, but he's not Life Orb. Is he Choice Banded, Sucker Punch? That would be the only thing here. Can I live a Choice Banded Sucker Punch at +1? I have to make sure. Yes. Rotom can live a Choice Banded Adamant +1 Sucker Punch. Okay. I can. Alright. We got a Volt Switch. I can live it. Now, if I wasn't defensive, I wouldn't, but I'm bold with max HP and a lot of defense. So, I can live this hit if he's Choice Banded. And once this thing's down, if he switches to Venusaur here, I go into Tornadus, and then I just win with Acrobatics. So, you know, like I said, as long as Rotom is healthy, I can beat this Honchkrow. If he attacks me, I should be able to live it, and I can just go for the Volt Switch. If he crits me Sucker Punch here, then I lose the game. So, but that's a 4.7% chance. So we have a 95, you know, 0.3% chance to win this game. More or less in my head right now. I guess he could be Wakanberry, Honchkrow. In which case, my plan is totally thrown off. He lives the Volt Switch. He goes for Sucker Punch. We do live. That's definitely banded damage. He lived. He lived. What do I do? I have to hope Excalibur can live a hit, I think. Because I think he's Choice Banded. But I think Excalibur can live a hit. I think he can. At +1. I think that was Choice Banded. Excalibur is at 148 out of 176. I'm at 84. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose, dude. I'm gonna lose. He's got bulk on this thing. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose this thing. I'm gonna lose the Choice Banded Honchkrow, dude. Right now. I just lost to it. I just lost the Choice Banded Honchkrow, bro. I just lost the Choice Banded Honchkrow, dude. Ah! No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't yet. I didn't yet. I gotta live this, though. Please live this. Almost lost. Almost lost to it. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, bulky Honchkrow, man. Rotom is a legend. Oh my gosh, Rotom is a legend. Rotom, you are a legend. This game's not over yet, though. Still not over yet. If he's Sunny Day, I'm in a bit of trouble still. I gotta overheat. If I hit the overheat, I win the game, though. That's the other thing. But if he's Sunny Day, I'm in trouble. Still. Because he could be Sunny Day and beat my Tornadus. I didn't realize that I made a misplay there. I should have kept my Escavalier alive and sacked off my Claydol. That was a huge misplay. And if I lose the game, I'm going to say it's because of that, because I should have kept my Escavalier alive. I should not have let Escavalier take the hit from Honchkrow. I should have easily just switched right back out into Claydol. I could have Toxic the Honchkrow with Claydol, and I would have been fine either way. And if he went into Venusaur, it's fine. But if I hit this overheat, it doesn't matter. I win the game anyway. So I am scared of him setting up Sunny Day, though. I am scared of the Sunny Day. I missed. He goes for Sludge Bomb. Okay, doesn't matter. This game is a lot closer than it should have been. He has to be... I mean, I guess he could be Barry. He could be Barry here. I don't know whether I chance it or if I just go for the Acrobatics here. Acrobatics knocks him out. If he's Barry, then... If he's Koba Berry, then he's gonna win the game, I think. Although he's not Life Orb, so I probably can live as Sludge Bomb. It's like such a strange turn of events. If he's Koba Berry, then I don't know. I mean, he could be, but that would be crazy prep if he brought Koba Berry Venusaur. I mean, I could U-turn out. I mean, I already went for Acrobatics. The other play I could have went is U-turn out, go into Claydol, let him kill me with Sludge Bombs and Giga Drains. But then he gets more health back, so it's kind of risky too. But I could U-turn, try to whittle him down, so that way, even with the berry, it doesn't matter. But at this point, I feel like Acrobatics kills. And he's got to be Koba Berry. That's the only chance for him to live this. And if he's Koba Berry, I don't think he knocks me out with Sludge Bomb, because I'm at 112 out of 155. He cannot knock me out. He cannot knock me out with Sludge Bomb. Most he could do to me is 54 to 65. Alright, that's game, dude. Nice. Oh my goodness. That was closer than I needed to be, dude. I mean, it should have been a 3-0, first of all, because the Rotom missed overheat, so whatever. He definitely brought that one down to the wire, though. I'm pretty sure overheat kills, dude. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it would have. Yeah, 100% kills. He brought it back, though. That Honchkrow was very, very scary, and I knew it was, and like I said, I gotta keep Rotom alive. Rotom was the key there. Choice Banded Honchkrow, though, with Sucker Punch, getting those Moxie boosts. Luckily, we had Toxic. Again, I misplayed that, though. The better play would have been when I Volt Switched out, go into Escavalier, or Claydol. I should have just went into Claydol. I should have thought and said, okay, obviously he's Choice Banded. And then in that situation, I can Toxic. It doesn't matter. And if he went into Venusaur, that's fine. He goes into Venusaur, and then I have the momentum again. So I remove those Moxie boosts. And he wouldn't be able to lock in a Sucker Punch again, because again, I have the Rotom. So with Toxic, 2 Pokemon with Toxic. But either way, great game to chance. He brought that one back, man. It was, I felt like we had so much control at the beginning, but that Honchkrow really turned things around. Claydol got a kill there. Tornadus got 3 kills. Very nice. Rotom with a kill. And Dragalge with a kill. So I think that wrapped up the team there. That's that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. I hope you're excited for the WBE. Next week we play Galactic Elliott and P4G. That's going to be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. Thanks so much for checking out my last video. If you like that one, you'll definitely like this one, and be sure to subscribe for more as I post Pokemon videos every single day.